Hello, dear friends, colleagues, partners. My name is Maria Reznikova, and this is a translation of the webinar of Lyubov Balabanova that works at the National University of Civil Defense of Ukraine. The Department of Psychology of Activity in Special Conditions. She's a candidate of medicine, doctor of psychology, and professor of the department. She has been working with the bioresonance technology for more than 10 years, and she has been testing the Trinity's fourth mode programs for the last year. And we can't stop admiring the results. Today, the topic of our webinar is depression. This is a disease of the 21st century. Depression as a disease of emotional oppression was known long ago, and often people call depression every change of mood of the inner state. Every leap of the mood people call depression. But generally, in every bad mood there lies a tangible reason which quickly passes after the circumstances change. All the people are affected by mood changes. A person can't constantly be in an emotional lift. We are surrounded by stress situations. We get upset, we worry for some time, but then we inevitably switch to other events and we continue living. Depression is a way different thing. With depression, everything happens differently. It's like a lung inflammation. It's impossible to get a lungful of fresh air. A person is like in a rut. According to WHO, depression is one of the most spread diseases among psychological disorders. Depression is a serious mental disease. Based on the statistics from the 2017, more than 300 million people of all age groups around the world suffer from the psychological disorders. And for the last 30 years, the number of patients with psychological disorders increased by more than 17 times. Depression disables a person from living a full life and enjoying it, smiling and just being happy. In many cases, depression can lead a person to suicide. About 100,000 people die as a result of suicide. This is the second reason of death of people at the age of 15 to 29 years. These are young people, and 100,000 people die every year by this reason. Today, this disease is widespread around the world, but especially in the developed countries. The number of patients increases year to year. Herewith, women suffer from depression 5-6 times more often than men. The increase in number of people suffering from depressive states usually is related to peculiar characteristics of life conditions of a person, especially living in big cities. These characteristics include situations when we always hurry and don't have enough time. Big amount of stress factors that are present in modern person's life. High density of population. A person can't stay alone. Very often a person doesn't have any personal space. The distance from the nature also promotes the development of depressive states. Besides alienation from traditions that have been set up for centuries and that had a protection impact on the mental health, today they're forgotten and people don't follow these traditions. People are not able to have fun during the holidays. They can't splash out the accumulated tension and they can be emotional with a socially acceptable way. Lack of physical activity also has impact on the development of depressive states. I can't not say about loneliness in the crowd. When constant communication with big amount of people couples with lack of significant other, and a person feels lonely in a big city, feels useless. So how does the depression occur? Depression starts when a person is in a state of low mood for a long time, at least for 2 weeks, and and a person is not able to change it. There can be many reasons for such state, especially if it is related to significant parts of person's life. It can be loss of a significant other, separation from the beloved one, firing from work, or retirement. Each person has his individual reason, but a person does not always realize it. Many people have genetic disposition towards depression. Often, the reason is when the organism does not produce enough mood hormones, endorphins. Then a person has a tendency for fast inclusion into this emotional state. In the development of depressive states, there take part a whole range of factors, like external effects on mental health. They are divided into two kinds: acute impacts, which lead to the psychological trauma, and chronic ones. This is a state of constant stress and also so-called psychogenic depression. Genetic predisposition, and endocrine shifts, especially when there occurs hormonal alteration, especially with climax in women, and also somatic corporal diseases. They very often are accompanied by depressive states, since very often a person does not believe in a recovery and does not see a solution. So, psychogenic depression is the most spread kind of depression states, which is almost 90% of all depressions. The majority of authors divide a psychogenic depression in reactive depression as a reaction which acutely occurs on some negative impacts, and neurasthenic depression, which originally has chronicity. Both types of depression neurosis can be developed in almost every person. One person perceives firing from work as an irrelevant nuisance, and the other one as a world tragedy. Consequently, there are factors that increase the disposition of a person towards depression. These factors can include age. With age, depressive states occur more often. Sexual, social, and individual reasons can promote development of depression. More often, a reason for reactive depression is severe psychological trauma, tragedy in personal life. For example, a significant other got sick or died, or there are conflicts in families that lead to divorce, or there is impossibility to have a child. Now it's a problem which comes to a first place. State of loneliness, problems with health that lead to disability, some creative production fails, conflicts with coworkers, firing, retirement. If a person came through a physical or psychological violence, this can lead to the development of psychogenic depression, as well as economic troubles such as crisis, passing to lower maintenance level. These factors can also lead to the development of depression. So today, one of factors that can develop depression is migration, especially forced moving to another city, country, or change of accommodation. Another reason can be an achieved goal syndrome, when a person lost a reason to live. Sorry, if a person achieves 85% of a goal, he has to set another goals. In case of a goal failure, a person thinks that everything failed. He doesn't see a solution to this situation, or if a goal is achieved, he doesn't know what to do next. And a person that used to be focused on one single method of achievement also enters a depression state. General feature of all reactive depressions is presence of traumatic factor in all the emotional sufferings. The cause of neurasthenic depression is a chronic stress. In such cases, the main traumatic factor, as a rule, is not identified by a person. Such it just describes a long train of misfortunes and disappointments. The person cannot connect this to the depressive state. If there occur health disorders, these people very often go to general practitioners but in reality, it is a camouflaged depression. It is very insidious, and mostly it is manifested not as much as a low mood, but more like body diseases. Headaches, vegetative disorders, rapid heartbeat, excessive sweating, etc. A person has spasms in stomach and intestine. A person thinks that it is just a somatic disease. So there are particular indicators of depressive states. These indicators can be classified into three groups. First, there are signs of mental health disorders. They are related to disorders in emotional sphere, attention, memory, slow thinking processes, and a person very often does not even realize how much these disorders are developed. Second, a sign is symptoms of disorders in central nervous system. There appear neurological symptoms which can be conditioned by nervous processes breakdown. The cause is lack of vitamins and minerals. A person is overloaded by physical or mental activity, and this leads to negative state development. And third is signs of functional disorders of different organs and systems. Vegetative somatic signs. Herewith, very often when carrying out research, cardiogram, pressure measurement, encephalogram don't show significant disturbances. Meanwhile, a person has a lot of complaints. What about mental health disorders? Separately, there can be emphasized a depressive triad. It is characterized by such signs as a decrease of general emotional background when a person is constantly in a bad mood. Nothing makes him happy. Whether a person bought new clothes, attended a party, or nothing gives joy, movies, books, nothing. The second indicator is retarded thinking. A person complains that he has problems with memorizing. He can't be rapidly included in some processes which require intellectual activity. And third is decrease of physical activity. A person is passive, lies up very often, feels fatigue, weakness after working day, and can't make himself do anything. But a monumental sign of depression is decrease of emotional background. The predominance of such emotions as sadness, grief, feeling that there are no solutions, and loss of interest to life until suicidal thoughts. Retarded thinking can be manifested in slow speech, one word short answers, when a person doesn't want to be included into communication. A person in a depressive state becomes slow and clumsy. Movements are often constrained and all the mimic muscles are frozen in one position, and face of depressive people has this specific like suffering mask. Features of a depressive person are also a triad which consists of negative self concept. A depressive person perceives himself as an accommodated, insignificant person. Negative view of life. A depressive person is convinced that the world has steep demands towards him and walls off on the way towards his goal. And nihilistic view on future. A person is convinced that troubles he's going through are insuperable. There are main signs of depression which can be divided into main and additional. The main symptoms are daily mood lowering that lasts for at least 2 weeks. If during 2 weeks a person feels low mood for the majority of the day, then it can be referred to depression symptoms. If a person has a loss of interest towards types of activity that used to give joy and pleasure. If there is a curbing of interests, a person doesn't want to go anywhere, doesn't want to take part in anything. He's not interested in social circle he used to be interested in. And decrease of energy. When a person can't get out of bed in the morning, can't make himself do anything. And also there are additional symptoms when there decreases in attention concentration, when there is a self-esteem lowering, insecurity, when there are such ridiculous idea of guilt, pessimism, suicidal thoughts, sleep and appetite disorder. Here, a person can both eat a lot or not feeling full, bulimia, or a person doesn't want to eat at all. More often, people turn to the psychiatrist, complaining to such symptoms as grief, sorrow, indifference, wish to be isolated from the environment, lack of interest in what used to attract. They ignore important responsibilities that they used to fulfill. Irritability is altered with anger. Tearfulness very often is accompanied by a disappointment and dissatisfaction. So, as soon as a person notes such signs, he has to consider changing something in life. And there exist instruments which are long familiar to prevent the depression development. And first is, of course, sleep schedule. Since sleep is a time when a person rests, and a person should try to go to bed until 11 p.m. because from 9 to 12 p.m. the nervous system is recovered. Of course, very few people go to bed at 9 p.m., but at least at 11, a person must be asleep to let the nervous system have a rest. Quality sleep lasts about for 8 hours, and during this time, a human body fully restores the supply of vital energy. And brain switches. It rests for solving tasks and problems. Second is healthy food. If a person abuses pasta, pastry, especially today's bread with chemically whitened flour, with this much of chemicals added to it, so you need to not be tempted by a wish to grab a bun as a snack. You need to eat more fresh seasonal products with low content of carbs and high content of protein, especially of microelements. Today, people have deficit of microelements because of vegetables grown artificially, so you need to correct your diet. You need to build friendly get-togethers to get rid of depression. Because such warm, friendly communication over a cup of tea is a very good doctor. You need to make yourself to go out, meet friends at least once a week. Watching a movie together, just talks over some homemade meal is a guaranteed way to feel much better. A person has to learn how to set goals. It is needed to reach some tops, at least the small ones, in areas familiar to you, such as your job, studies, even cooking. Many reach successes in studying foreign languages. I know people who started learning languages after 60 years old, and they become they become younger. They look younger. Their self-attitude changes. The eye concept changes. Some famous psychologists recommend to get small goals, and when achieving them, to point this for yourself by some compliment, praise, or to do something pleasant for yourself. When a feeling of delight from small goals is dulled, just set bigger goals. Very helpful can be laughter therapy because there are the most precious hormones, endorphins, involved. They are also called happiness hormones. Watch your favorite comedies with friends. Attend comedy shows. Just have fun. There is a psychotherapeutic method called haha therapy, when a person during 15 minutes or at least 5 minutes just laughs. It transfers a person from one negative state to a positive state. Sport is another nice way to increase endorphins level in the blood because if a person says that nothing will help him with his overweight, it can also lead to depressive states. And it's so hard to get rid of these 5 kilos. You just need to go to the gym a couple times a week or just walk 2, 3 kilometers. Maintaining your shape is much easier than getting into it. But a person doesn't want anything, since it's very hard to make depressive people do something. There is a very interesting technique. Put on socks, put your hands behind your back, or put it in cross on your chest. Lie down on the floor on your back and try to put off your socks not using hands. When you will wriggle to try to make them off, your energy will be activated, and after, you will want to go outside, have a walk, and improve your mood. And you need to check vitamin D level in your blood. Sunlight is a source of vitamin D. Remember that depressive states develop mainly in fall-winter season. When there is a very little sunlight and a person does not live in a if a person does not live in a southern country, it is needed to compensate the lack of vitamin D. If a person suspects that he or she has developed depression, if in if some of these states last for more than 2 weeks, then it is needed to find some solution. One of such solutions can be application of multi-frequency synchronization, which was developed in Biomedis company and which are implemented in Trinity device. Since many people who suffer from depression in a light form, they are afraid to ask for help and they hope it will pass by itself. But to overcome depression by yourself, it is very hard because the person isn't able to realize the reason of his problem, which leads to depression. And depression always requires complex approach. We're talking about depression as a mental disease because it requires medical treatment. Today, we're talking about depressive states. To decrease the risk of the development of such states into depressive diseases like depression, then it is needed to apply some methods that allow to come out of these conditions. And Biomedis company allows algorithms of application of psychosomatic programs which are implemented in Trinity device. Um, with chronic depression, if a person realizes that he or she is in this depressive state for about 2 weeks, because he has a lot of stress, fatigue, it's hard to wake up in the morning. So, to eliminate the state of fatigue, weakness, we can apply the energizing program in the morning. And herewith, it is needed to create an intention and say, right now, I'm free from depression. And to turn on this program, it is especially important for morning awakening. And it is useful to turn it on after exhaustion. Exams, project handover, if a person overworks, etc. This program will replenish the energy deficit. Then after 13 minutes, you turn on the Depression 1 program. It is also aimed for such smooth awakening of a person and is applied when there are depressive states without fears, just fatigue, lack of joy, weakness. And this program, when applied in the morning, allows to set yourself up for an active start of the day. In the afternoon, to activate mental working capacity to prevent fatigue, exhaustion of mental processes, it is recommended to apply cerebral program. As a rule, it lasts for 35 minutes and activates intellectual activity. It eliminates difficult learning when there quickly appear fatigue, tiredness, when a person cannot quickly get involved in working process. This process promotes clearness and this program, I'm sorry, promotes clearness and activity of brain. After 30 minutes, you can turn on managing consciousness program, which can reinforce the impact of this program. And then if there are noted some feelings of anxiety, irritability, fatigue, if a person cannot clearly understand what is the reason for all this, if there are no distinct symptoms, then there is applied an event regulation program. And in the evening, when a person comes home, finishes his day, to eliminate the state of anxiety, nervousness, there can be applied Stress One program. This program lets the person out of the endless circle, stress, disease, stress, from the state of mental blockage. Especially when there are a lot of conflicts and stress inside the family, when there are a lot of conflicts and stress at work, school, also with children's fears. And after 30 minutes, apply Schumann Waves program. This program is actual for a person living in a concrete box, in a high-rise building, and does not, if a person does not breathe fresh air, does not go for a walk to a park or to a seaside, it is known that a person should be in resonance with the environment, and he needs different signals coming from it. And a very big importance has this Schumann frequency, which is 7.8 hertz. This frequency is generated on the surface of the Earth. And the hippocampus of newborns and animals is tuned to this frequency of the Earth. This region is responsible for attention, ability to concentrate, and it plays an important part for sleep. And if there is a lack of this signal, a person does not spend much time in the nature. He spends all the time in the closed premises, and then a short time supply of these waves stabilizes the well-being of a person. The body remembers the nature of these frequencies and starts to reproduce them by itself. And if a person has headaches or some tension or any other physical discomfort, then there can be applied anesthesia program in the evening. It lasts for 30 or 60 minutes. It increases the endorphins level and allows to control pain. And the results are especially noted when the pain is caused by psychophysiological disorders. It can be headache or tension in the shoulders, back of the neck, and many diseases related to pain, as well as those that have original physical reason. They promote the development of stress and emotional disorders. And their forms such vicious circle. It can be broken with the help of program application. The next algorithm is depressive state with manifestations of anxiety and fear. Here, there are a lot of complaints from patients that they have an uncaused anxiety. There are no special reasons to be worried, so then it is recommended to apply PEACE program. It's such a general strengthening program, which is applied for deep inner relaxation and stabilization of immune system. We teach patients to combine this program with the technique of emotional freedom. This is a very interesting technique when you make up an affirmation. Despite me feeling a state of anxiety, everything is fine, I'm good. You pronounce this affirmation. You can formulate this phrase in another way. Despite me feeling anxiety, I accept and love myself. And when pronouncing this phrase, you knock on the points on the region of brows, near eyes, under nose, your chin, collarbone, and so you keep saying it. And so during 5-7 minutes, you keep doing it, meanwhile having the program on. It gives a very interesting result. To enhance the effect of this peace program, in the morning you can apply a Depression 2 program. You must stay with your eyes closed, and when a person feels depression accompanied by phobias, fears, anxiety, when there is a vegetative vascular dystonia or psychosomatic complaints from the part of heart, blood circulation, from the part of digestive tract, or there is a state of tension in the shoulders and spine, then you can apply this program. It lasts for 30 minutes. Like this, you come out of this state. In the afternoon, there is applied the cerebral program, and after 30 minutes, there can be applied overcoming fear program. This program allows to deal with fear, to go out to the city, or fear of public performances, or there are such patients who are afraid to move about the city alone, thinking that they would feel bad or any other troubles would occur. So to overcome all of these states, you can apply this program. And in the evening, when a person comes back home, to let him have a rest, to get it together, there is applied stress 4 program. It is applied with all types of spastic states, for example, migraine, all types of spasm. When a person feels that he has spastic pain in shoulders, in the back of head, or some colics in stomach, or vegetative visceral paroxysms, it is necessary to turn on this program. The only contraindication is tumor. In all other cases, the program is applied. And then there is applied sleep program. So the person can enter the process of smooth falling asleep. There must be eliminated the intake of all stimulating agents, alcohol, heavy food before sleep. Turn on this program to eliminate all the states of anxiety. It is recommended to have a course of 10-12 sessions, and after a month, the course can be repeated if needed. And the last algorithm is depressive states with vegetative paroxysms. When a person is noted to have panic states accompanied by elevation of pressure, skin redness, fast heart beating, and other uncomfortable states, then in these cases, in the morning, it is recommended to apply Depression 3 program. This program is aimed to correct the endocrine regulation caused by different types of depression. In this case, it is important to find the cause of depression. And when applying this program, a patient must stay with his eyes closed. Also, it is applied with climax or pre-climax hormonal alteration or when menstrual period depression in teenagers, when they are in this beginning of menstrual function. Depression is developed in young girls during puberty. So then in the interval of 30-60 minutes, there can be applied the Overcoming Fear program. In the afternoon, to overcome negative states, there can be applied Increasing Neurohumoral Regulation Resources program. And then in the time interval of 30-60 minutes, there can be applied Short Break program. This program is aimed for such short rest while working, especially when the job is related to high level of mental activity, or it is exams preparation, or some important project preparation. And then it is needed there is needed such a short, deep rest period to let a person to restore his resources, to avoid nervous system deterioration. And this program finishes with the energizing frequency, which prepares a person to coming back to work being rested. And in the evening, there can be applied Stress 3 program. This is a main program which is applied for correction of endocrine regulation disorder caused by stress situation. So if you have low pressure, if you have menstrual cycle disorder, allergies, eczema, asthma, this program can be applied. Then in the interval of 30, 120 minutes, there can be applied Sexual Regulation 1 program, which is aimed to increase the resources of sexual regulation in cases when the potency is weakened with very different reasons, including depressive states development. With the falling asleep processes disorder, there can be applied Sleep 2 program. It is different from Sleep Program 1 because when a frequency slowly decreases to delta rhythm, it then is kept in this range until the end of the session without coming back to alpha rhythm like in a sleep program. So this program is well applied before sleep when you're tired but you can't fall asleep, or when you wake up at night and you can fall back to sleep for a long time. And it is also recommended to have a course of 10-12 sessions, and it can be repeated after a month if needed. As a conclusion, we would like to note that it is important to apply programs aimed for correction of functional state of liver in the second mode for the night. Because liver plays special part in depressive states development, and there can be applied some detoxification programs, programs that regulate the state of liver, and it is important to have a course of anti-parasitic programs before that. For example, children, when having hepatic encephalopathy, when they have it, it leads to nervous system disorder. It develops irritability, tearfulness, and depressive states. It's very important to take amino acids, tryptophans, magnesium, B group vitamins, so then a person can easily deal with any stress loads. With depressive states, and then a person can feel joy of life. So we hope that people who will be able to apply these algorithms will share their results with us so that we can improve these algorithms in the future. Okay, so thank you very much for your attention and good luck.